What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video I want to talk about what I want to see from Watch Dogs Legion the next time we see it. Now, let's quickly just say, to get this out of the way in the beginning of the video, I fully expect to see Watch Dogs again at Ubisoft's online show. So, earlier this week, I think this is Friday you guys are watching, on Monday, Ubisoft announced, July 12th, right? July 12th is their online show. Going to be announcements, going to be reveals, all that kind of stuff. You imagine Assassin's Creed, we'll get more gameplay, we'll get the release date, we'll get Watch Dogs release date, we'll probably get Prince of Persia, brand new Prince of Persia. We'll probably get Far Cry 6's announcement, all that kind of stuff. Lots of stuff. I mean, Ubisoft is going to have a really awesome show. But for Watch Dogs, I mean, specifically for this video, right, let's talk about Watch Dogs. And I've talked about it a lot. I've talked about my excitement. I've talked about my worry. I think a lot of people are on the same boat as me, where we understand what it can be, what the games have done well, what they have not done well, and that, yeah, you know, Watch Dogs Legion looked pretty darn solid, but there are some things we should be worried about. And I think more alarming is their lack of talk about this game when it could very realistically come out this fall, and we haven't seen anything about it for a full year, right? Last E3 was the one and only time that we really saw anything of substance about this game. So what do we need to see when next time we see it? Well, I think the first thing, this could be a cop-out answer, I think the first thing is a release date. We absolutely need to see a release date attached to this game, whether or not they give us, and it'll be tough because we still don't know what these shows are going to be like yet, right? Nobody's really done it. I mean, we got Inside Xbox. Do we imagine all of these conferences are like that? If Warner Bros. Does one, when EA eventually does it on June 12th, when Ubisoft, like, is it going to be, what's it going to be? Is there going to be like a host on one camera screen, and then he's going to kind of just hand it off to like a montage of games being announced? Is there going to be interviews with other developers? Like, we won't necessarily know how they're going to handle it. And again, like, why am I saying this? Well, do they do a 5-10 minute, right? Because we normally know that they normally show, like, say Assassin's Creed, they show off Assassin's Creed, right? Every June, every E3, they do like a 5-6 minute gameplay like presentation, right? They post it on YouTube afterwards, but they have somebody like on stage playing through a scripted mission of Assassin's Creed to kind of show whatever they really want to push, like, at that time, right? They always do that. Now, again, my question is, do they do that now, or is it just all trailers, or do they do trailers and is the whole day Ubisoft, right? There's all of July 12th where they do like an hour-long show, but then throughout the day, the different developers inside Ubisoft, they all have their own, streams, or they all have their own videos where they upload and they say, okay, well, here's the Watch Dogs team, and we're going to show you half an hour of the game. We're just going to play. Because remember, also, again, they go on IGN, and they go on GameSpot, and they go on Kind of Funny's thing, right? Like all these developers, and sometimes they show the same thing they showed at the stage, and sometimes they show a thing of gameplay, right? So how do you do that in an online thing? That is an argument, and so that could be used against me, I guess, where you could say, once it happens, like, oh, Alex, you were wrong. Well, we didn't necessarily know how it was going to be, but again, release date, I think, is absolutely, whether it's just a trailer, or if it's a trailer and gameplay, or it's just gameplay, they need to show the release date. They need to show that this game comes out this fall. Remember, the game was supposed to come out last November. Then it got pushed to March. Then it got pushed to never. It got pushed to indefinite, which is not a good sign. We've seen Dying Light do that. We saw The Last of Us Part 2 do that in a really weird, right, situation that The Last of Us Part 2 was in. All that kind of stuff. But just look at those games. Dying Light's had rumors that it's in trouble. We're actually going to be talking about Dying Light later today. I'm going to do another video on that. But it's not the greatest company. When games get delayed indefinitely, that's not the greatest sign in the world, right? Just something to keep in mind. I have faith. I think this game can be very good. I think this game could be the best Watch Dogs game we've ever gotten. Now, is that saying all that much? That's up to you guys to decide. But a release date is absolutely necessary. Here's another thing. I want a little bit more clarification on the play anybody, because we've talked about this, right? The idea of that is very good. It's very bold. It's something that, you've seen games do. A lot of games have tried it, and they work to various degrees, but you end up getting into that situation where you're like, and we talked about this, right? Is every character really unique? We know there's 3 classes, so each character, you can only separate them 3 different ways. Like, yeah, they can all have their own voices, they can all, like, look differently, but they're going to act the same way. How far does it go? How much does it, affect or impact the story itself? I want to see that. I want to see more of that. We saw saw, like, what we saw was fine. Last year, the 9, 10, what you guys are probably seeing right now, that was fine. That's completely fine. I enjoyed it. I think for what it was actually very strong. It was a pretty good indication of how a mission could go, but I don't know. I actually don't even know if you can convey it through them showing the game. I kind of want them to talk about it. I want to hear people that are working at, like, any director, any leader in whatever field of this game. I want them to talk about how it's going to impact the game. That's what I ultimately want to see. Another thing is I want to see multiplayer. Okay, now Watch Dogs 2, I've talked about numerous times. My favorite part was the multiplayer. The single player was, I think, overall kind of still weak. It didn't have, Aiden as the protagonist. It didn't have the Batman voice, but it wasn't very good, right? I mainly played Watch Dogs 2 for the multiplayer, for the chaos that you can do, for all that kind of stuff. That was amazing. I actually really loved that. I had a ton of fun playing Watch Dogs 2 for that reason. I need to see whatever they're going to do about it. I need to see them do it. If they're going to have whatever kind of multiplayer mode, I want to see that now. And again, we haven't really seen that yet, and we're getting very close to when this game is supposed to come out. I believe it is going to have multiplayer. I don't know if that's confirmed, like they've said that. If you guys know, you could definitely let me know in the comments, but I think, whether or not they've said it or not, I think that's going to be in there, but I want to see it. I want to see it because ultimately, the last point I just talked about, I want to see how the characters and playing as anyone who you want basically is going to, how they're going to handle that in a single player. And again, like, to be completely honest with you guys, I want this to be the first Watch Dogs game that I'm pumped about the story, that I really want to play what they want to tell us, right, in terms of the single player. I want to be pumped. In fact, I am that guy. I am a single player, whether it be JRPG or open world or, literally whatever genre of gaming you want to say. I'm a single player guy. I like being told a story and kind of giving the trust to the developers where it's like, hey, I mean, I'll criticize you if it's bad, but tell me the story you want to tell me, with the characters you want me to play as, or me to like, or me to not like. You do that, you give them to me, and then I'll follow. I mean, I will give you the chance. I will follow you. That's just generally who I am. And it's funny because the first Watch Dogs just had so many, out of this world expectations, right? That one is kind of like you just pass on it because you really can't like go back and really analyze that because of just all how messy that was leading into it. But the second Watch Dogs, I think I wanted the single player to be good, but I think within the first couple hours, like the first 2-3 hours, I was like, you know what? This just absolutely isn't doing it for me. Let's try the multiplayer, which I thought was going to be pretty solid. And you know what? It was a ton of fun, right? Because even the first game had solid enough basis for a multiplayer, but it wasn't like fully realized. But I do want this one to be the first Watch Dogs where going in like the week before, a month before, where I'm like, I'm excited to play in this new area, right, with these new characters, with this new story that they want to tell. I want to give them the chance. And I can say honestly, I feel like I'm in that zone now where I am more excited for the single player than a multiplayer. Now, again, like I haven't seen multi. Maybe if I see it, then I'll be like, ooh, you know what? They really need to work on that single player. And they do. That's the trouble, is I do think that the single player doesn't seem all that perfect, and I do want to see more. I'm hoping that it's very good, but I'm pumped for it. So I really do want to see how that's going to work. I want to know how the single player is all going to work. I want to see multiplayer. I want to see a release date. I mean, I guess you could say like more hacking. We saw a pretty good indication of what we're going to be doing in terms of hacking. You just kind of, in my opinion, I kind of just expect to be able to do more than the last game. How much, like what that scale is, I don't really know. And honestly, I don't really even know if it's possible for them to convey how much you're going to be able to hack or what you're like. Yeah, there's like skills and there's different, abilities that these characters can do. They have told us some of that stuff, right? But in terms of like a larger scale, like literally how much freedom am I going to have in this world to hack? Again, like the expectations for the first game were so out there, and then it was pretty much nothing. You could pretty much hack nothing. And the second game was like, well, remember what we promised you? We're going to actually try and deliver that. And it's like, oh, you know what? You can hack more things in this game. It's kind of like that, where, in my opinion, I don't really have expectations for how much I'm going to hack. I just, at least the same amount as 2, if not more. So, to wrap it up, I do think this game has a lot of I don't know where you guys that's kind of the scary part of recording a video like this is hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. I want the game to be good. I respect what they're trying to do. I see that, in my opinion, I'm very worried about a lot of things in this game. I think that's okay to do that. At the same time, like I'm going to buy it day one. I was going to buy it day one back last year. I'm excited to play it, but I do think there's definitely things that we still need to see about this game, and hopefully these things are the stuff that they're going to show us in July. Okay, so let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Are you sold on this game already? Do you not need to see anything to be sold on it, or what do you think they need to show you in order to kind of sell you on this game whenever it comes back around, when Ubisoft does its show? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up, and thank you so much for watching, guys. Obviously, if anything happens Watch Dogs related, I'll absolutely cover it on the channel. Same thing with Ubisoft's online show, all that kind of stuff. If you guys like Watch Dogs, you've definitely come to the right place. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.